Hey, what's up YouTube? Tom here, Birds Blades. So I have a whole pile of EDC items in front of me, and I figured I'd just do a quick little video on some of my EDC items that I have carried in the past or still carry to this day. Kicking it off, we're going to be looking at this Leatherman Super Tool 300 that I modified. So I added a Leatherman's proprietary bit driver off of, I believe it was a Leatherman Super Tool, or not Super Tool, a Leatherman Surge, and that does lock into place. Other than that, this handle remains unmodified, and then going over to this handle, I added the Leatherman's scissors. I think these were off of a Leatherman Wave. And then other than that, I guess this tool is unmodified except for the proprietary bit driver and then the scissors. And I think the Leatherman Super Tool 300 is Leatherman's best full-size frame multi-tool for a few different reasons. Reason number one is the ergonomics on it I think are better than the Surge. For a right-handed individual, I guess, because there's absolutely no hot spots. You can see that that's rolled. So the ergonomics on these things are phenomenal. And then all of your tools are tucked inside of your handles, keeping them nice and protected. To house this, this was my first leather pouch I ever built. I was trying to kind of keep it as close to the original as I could, but just kind of make it a little bit bigger, and so it would house the Super Tool 300. You can tell I clearly didn't know what the heck I was doing. My stitching is all over the place, and it's kind of a work of art, honestly. But that was my first pouch I ever built. So moving on to stick with Leathermans and belt stuff, pouches, I guess. This would be the next Leatherman, and this is a Leatherman curl, and this is an unmodified Leatherman curl. This thing is just bone stock, but I really like the Leatherman curl. It's really slim. It's not as thick as your Leatherman Wave. B, you don't have the pinch zone like you do on the Leatherman Wave or the Leatherman Charge. That would be when you're using these, sometimes the meat of your hand can get caught in there. It's kind of hard to mimic on camera, not in working conditions, but this can actually pinch you and leave you with a nice blister. So I actually like I like the curl, in my opinion, honestly, a little bit better than the Wave Plus. Also, they have the pocket clip that's on the Free P4, ARC, Free P2. That just screws in right here. I took my pocket clip off because I have a pouch for it. This pouch I built for a custom or a modified Leatherman Free P2, which we'll get to later in the video. But this is the second pouch I built, and you can see there's a few differences from the first pouch. The biggest one would probably being just the quality of it is far superior. But then I left a tail here, or like a tongue, so you'd be able to just easily pop your clasp open. The clasp, or the button, is an upgraded version of the button. I added a tension strap with a little loop that's to house a Leatherman ratchet driver. And then I added a big pocket on the back just to house the Leatherman bit kit with kind of a goofy design down here. But this button I had to add later because I made my strap too big for the belt that I now wear, because I made my own belt and it's a little thinner now than the last one. But very simple design anyway, and I liked it, carried that for quite a while. I had my issues with it. The biggest one would be that my belt loop was way too low, so it was kind of forcing the sheath to ride way up on my body, and I didn't like that. So moving on, I built this leather sheath, and this one is to house my current EDC setup, which would be the Leatherman ratchet driver, Leatherman arc, this titanium pen, and then a Phoenix E12 AA flashlight. So you could see there's a main pocket here. I guess the main attraction would probably be the Leatherman arc. You have the main pocket with the same concept of the big tail here and the upgraded button. And then carrying over from that, I have the tension strap going around with the little loop to house my Leatherman ratchet driver. And that, you could hear that it actually kind of clicks into place. Moving on over here, I have this titanium pen. This pen is awesome. I write things down on the daily, all day long. This takes G2 mini refills, I think. Honestly, I can't remember. Either way, that's a great pen. Phoenix E12 flashlight. If you're looking for a very small AA flashlight with like no extra nonsense, I would 100% recommend this. It has 3 brightness settings. It does not have a memory. It just always turns on to the dimmest setting right away. You do a half press to cycle through your settings, I guess. And I run Duracell rechargeable batteries in mine. That way I'm not just panicking, looking around, trying to run to Walmart and buy some batteries when it goes out. But main pocket houses my Leatherman arc. This is unmodified. I did have a Leatherman arc before this. I was fortunate enough to catch one on the first release, and it completely fell apart. But I gave Leatherman another shot, got another Leatherman arc. I'm treating this one a little bit nicer than I treated my last one, and yeah, so far it's holding up. I really like this thing. I think everybody kind of knows the arc by this point. You have the Magna Cut blade. It has I think it has a DLC coating on it. You have your can opener, bottle opener maybe, or just can opener. And then you have your proprietary bit driver, your saw. Everything is one-hand accessible and locking. Your file, it has a diamond side, a metal saw, and then a rough cross-cut pattern. You have your like pry bar bottle cap lifter situation going on. Your micro screwdriver. And all without a sewing eye, which is kind of an interesting concept, but hey, whatever, works for a scraping device or something. And then they call that a wire stripper too, but to be honest, it's kind of a sad excuse of a wire stripper. And then you have your scissors. Them are decent scissors, but I guess overall, this is a great tool. Under super hard use situations, no, it's not, but I'm guessing most people aren't really using a $250 Leatherman for a hard use, which, hey, whatever. Next pouch is this one. So I built this. It hasn't had any belt time or anything yet, but you can see similarities in my last 3 pouches that I made due to the tension strap here and then this loop like down so thing. I don't know what you want to call it, but that was what I did with this one. This one is actually all one piece of leather except for this sleeve for the pen and then obviously the tension strap and that. But other than that, this flashlight loop and the main housing for the Leatherman arc, that's all one piece of leather. But I thought that was kind of a neat design. But yeah, the tension strap is the same. This like oversized tongue situation is the same. The main pocket and the other main pocket. And then I did move, I forgot to mention on this one too, but I did move the belt loops up, which was my main complaint with that pouch. Anyway, what this houses is another Leatherman ratchet driver, which these things went out of stock for a while and they were selling for like $300 on eBay. Absolutely ridiculous, but they are great. They are awesome tools. This is that Leatherman Free P2 that I mentioned earlier with that pouch. This is a modified Leatherman Free P2. You can see it's kind of decked out with arc parts. So this is the Leatherman Arc Magna Cut blade that I removed the finish off of and kind of polished it to try to match the frame. I think it looks fitting. And then also in this handle I have the proprietary bit exchanger off the Leatherman Arc, and then the micro bit exchanger also off of the Leatherman Arc. And that's all the tools on that handle. Over here I have the rough crosscut saw with the metal or file, and then the metal saw and the diamond coated file. That's again off the Leatherman Arc. And then right here, this is actually a 1/4 inch magnetic bit driver off of AliExpress, and I took and I ground down to a nice sharp point their Phillips head number 2 bit that they gave me, and I heat treated it. That way if I ever need to like punch something out, or I don't know, really use a punch or a pick or an awl or whatever for anything, I have one there, and I have the ability to take it off and use the hammering end to hammer it into whatever I need. Also, I guess I should mention that this is also a 4mm magnetic bit driver, so you got that situation going on. Personally, I don't ever use that because I don't carry around 4mm bits on me, but this is also rocking the old style wire cutters. You can see the 90-degree off. These are the tougher, better wire cutters, I guess, versus their new ones. So moving on, we have this, it's not a winter blade coat, it's a, what is it, winter putting or something, I don't know. It's like a, from what I could find, it's like an aftermarket version of a winter blade coat factor. You can see there's no marking, there's no winter blade coat here, but it is a M390 blade, you can see there. And as far as what I could tell, the difference is this has more magnets for more fine tuning inside the handle. So you have that one protruding there, and then there's one under it, or inside the liner, which this is a full titanium liner, full titanium scale, and then there's magnets in there. It won't focus. Hello. Anyway, there's magnets in there too. From what I could find, the difference is the little flipper tab here. This is not flattened off with a skeletonized portion, but it's just a full like carbon fiber deal that's kind of bent down, which actually is quite nice because it like it's easy to find. I don't know, indexing on it or whatever you want to say is really good. And then the other difference too is the Winter Blade Co. has a full titanium scale on, I think, this side, and then it's a carbon fiber on this side with a titanium pocket clip, whereas this is all titanium, 100% the pocket clip, both liners, or the one liner, I guess, and then both scales. You can see it is functioning on bearings, or not bearing magnets. I mean, it does have bearings as well, you can see down in there. But all the other differences too is you don't have like a G10 inlay inside your pivot or your like lock bar there. So I don't know, it's kind of a really neat knife. Super fidgety, like really fun to play with. Makes all the cool sounds. I don't know if it's picking up on camera. It's kind of dirty, but yeah, it does the little ding noise. And that's this pocket here. So this pocket actually initially was built for my Spyderco Paramilitary 2, which I have right here. But the reason I don't run that in there is because it's just so doggone big. It just doesn't look right. And also, I don't know, the Para 2, yeah, it's a massive knife, but that's a terrible flick. There we go. It is a massive knife, but it is really easy to pocket carry this thing. I don't know why that is, but maybe because it's so slim. I don't know. Either way, this pocket now houses this. I think it's a winter pudding. I don't know exactly what the name of that thing is. But yeah, this thing hasn't had any belt time yet, and I'm sure it'll get it eventually. Might be a minute, but it'll get it. Alright, well, moving on, keeping with Leathermans. This, I guess, would be like an honorable mention. So I built this for my boy. He's 2 and really likes playing with my pliers and stuff. So I got him a Leatherman Squirt P4. And I built him a wet form veg tan leather little pouch ordeal for him. And has a folded piece of wire for the clip. It works. Not ideal, but it does work. And then, yeah, I don't know. The Free P4 is actually quite a cool little keychain tool. I think these are discontinued now. Well, actually, I know they're discontinued now. I had 3 of these things, all brand new, and I ended up selling them. Kind of unfortunate, but hey, whatever, right? These things are sweet, though. Leatherman squirts are awesome. I suppose that's not really my EDC gear, though. That's my son's EDC gear. Keeping, I guess, plier based, I have these Knipex water pump plier XS's. These things are awesome, but I would not recommend them. I would recommend the Knipex Cobras over the water pump pliers. These are more niche, I guess. These are for like if you're doing a lot of mechanicking or something, these are great, but I don't know. Their use case is a lot smaller, I guess, than your typical Cobra pliers would be. But these things are great. They're always parallel, so it's just always a parallel jaw. Super, super thin. Extremely small, actually. Here, I never really had an idea on how small these things were until I actually got them. But you can see they are the exact same size as the Leatherman Arc. So, them things are extraordinarily small. Anyway, them things are great. And then I also built this wet form veg tan leather sheath pouch situation for them. And I'd never really carry it, but you can see it offers a lot of retention. But I never carry these things just due to them being so small. I kind of wish they were just a tad bit bigger. I know Knipex makes a pair that is bigger, and I'm thinking I'll have to get my hands on it because I really like these. But yeah, for how small they are, there's better tools for the job. Moving on to tools. I guess kind of sticking with tools. Everything here is a tool. I have this little belt pouch that not belt pouch, my bad, pocket organizer that I built. And this was just to house my Leatherman bit kit, which I actually, oh boy, throwing things, which I actually sewed together. You can see, or not sewed, but tied together. So this way I have like a nice display where I can unfold it, and it just displays all my bits out in a nice little line here, which works great. That way you're not really just losing portions of your bit kit. So, I don't know. That's really neat. I use them things all the time. And then in front of that, I have the 711L knockoff. It's an RTW little ratchet. This is a 1/4 inch drive though, not a proprietary system for Leatherman. But this works really good with that Free P2, that 1/4 inch bit driver. I don't really use that a whole ton anymore because I actually upgraded to this. This is an Icon pocket ratchet. this is their pocket ratchet set. You can see it locks into various positions, and one thing that is extremely neat about this is their extension. It has these lines and that groove on the top. So if you line that up with this white dot here, you can see that white dot. If you line the groove with the white dot, you can push it through and build yourself a little T-handle, which is really sweet. Or you can just put it into any other orientation and it's a long extension, I guess. Or worst case scenario, if you need a lot of torque, you just put it back here and now you have a whole pile of torque. But this has a 1/4 inch to a 1/4 inch adapter, so I can run sockets on this thing, which in my line of work, I'm using 1/4 inch sockets all the time. These things are great though, super compact, super useful. Leatherman bits do work with them. Actually, this is not the original extension. What happened was that magnet in here actually got pushed down somehow, and my Leatherman bits weren't retained in there anymore. So I brought it to Harbor Freight. I gave it to the guy behind the counter, told him this thing's broken. He just went into the back, grabbed a brand new one for me, and off I went. No questions asked, nothing. It's broken, here. So I don't know, Harbor Freight's warranty is like one of the best I have ever seen for tools, on their Icon line of tools anyway. Alright, to go back to knives, I have this. This is a modified Swiss Tech Liched. It's a $35 budget fixed blade from Walmart. I did a 4 EDC series on this knife on my channel, and that's pretty much just I carry it for EDC, and then every day I do like a day 1, day 2, day 3 update. And I was very impressed with this thing. It held up so good. I beat the living snot out of this knife and it just remained true. You could see the blade still straight. I did have to sharpen it because I rolled an edge prying open a paint can, but I stabbed paint cans. I cut, I beat it just to see how it would hold up, and it held up great. But yeah, I ended up modifying this, and then the only reason I didn't carry it after that series was because I hated the sheath that it had. So I created this little wet formed veg tan leather sheath. This kind of reminds me of a it's a Benchmade fixed blade. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head right now, but it kind of reminds me of one of their sheaths. I really like it. And this thing also has just a whole lot of retention. You can see it's actually pressed together there, so when you pull it out, it actually has to like separate through the leather. Yeah, you can see it there. I don't know, but yeah, this just goes on my belt and you can scout carry it or whatever. I don't know, it's a sweet little knife, and it wasn't getting pocket time because of the sheath, so hey, I built a new sheath for it. Moving on to still keep it with knives, I guess. This is my custom 1095 high carbon steel fixed blade that I made. This thing is an absolute workhorse. I have batoned with it. I don't know, I've done like unthinkable things to that you wouldn't do to knives to this, and it has held up so unbelievably well. Ergonomics on this thing are, to me, is about as perfect as you can get with maintaining a very slim handle. The reason I went super thin on the handle is so that it'd be able to go in and out of backpacks really easy for like going hunting or camping or whatever, and you don't want it to take up a bunch of room on your way out on the trip. But then also it is thick enough where ergonomically it's not terrible. It's actually pretty comfy, and there's a very, very small amount of squish still in that leather. So, I don't know. I really like this knife, and the knife needed a home, so I built this very crude, kind of generic sheath, I suppose, for it. There's really nothing fancy to it. It's honestly kind of a pile of junk, and I'm thinking I will probably just go ahead and rebuild it a little better, because I mean it works. Like I don't know, it works, but not my favorite. Anyway, I guess that's kind of all of my leather goods EDC stuff that I built. I mean, I have my wallet too. I could empty that out quick. And so I guess I have my wallet too. This is not my design. This is a buddy of mine was talking how he wanted a wallet that was just super simple like this and had 3 pockets, just 2 on the inside and then 1 main one on the outside. And that would be for like his debit card that he uses all the time would just be out here, and then like his driver's license, insurance card, whatever, toothpicks, receipts, cash, stuff you don't use all that much would be on the inside of the wallet. And I like to carry an ounce of silver with me everywhere I go. I just really like silver, and hey, I don't know, I just really like silver. But yeah, it's nice simple design, I guess. Fantastic wallet design, I should say. I can't really I don't know. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling at this point, but yeah, that's kind of all of my leather EDC items that I've kind of built over the years that I still have on me. I have built more, and I will continue to build more, but as of right now, this is what I have kind of laying about in front of me. So I don't know, this is just kind of a quick video of talking about all my EDC gear. Comment down below what's your favorite item throughout this whole list, or what you would have done different or changed, or really whatever. I mean, if you liked it, if you liked the video, leave a like, comment down below what you'd like to see next, and until next time, thanks for watching. Have a good one.